Murli Notes, 29th March 2023. The contrast of Bhakti and Gyan within the Raj Yogi. There is a spiritual law that to meet God, to receive spiritual knowledge, and to have access to yoga, you must have completed your bhakti, that is, your religious practice, your devotion. As a soul of 84 births, you have to have done bhakti at a higher level for 63 births. You would have encountered God and become His child, His student, and surrendered to the Satguru in the previous cycle at this time of the confluence age also. These sanskaras are within the soul. The Sakar Murli is a means of crossing from Bhakti to Gyan. The logic of Bhakti and its entrenched beliefs are stepping stones for the Bhagat to move across the waters that separate Bhakti and Gyan. These turbulent waters are the confluence age. Study and churning are required, together with examples of individuals who have made and are making the journey across. Almost all the references are of Hindu bhakti and orientation, but since Hindu bhakti is the basis of all the other religions, the references can be effectively used, and you can find the corresponding connections regardless of the religious culture of your birth. In addition, if you are in Gyan with a non-Hindu birth religious culture, you would have the sanskaras of Hindu bhakti within the soul for almost all of those 63 births, with just 1 or 2 births outside that circle of direct references. This means you can easily straddle the cultures. However, this applies when the quality and level of Hindu bhakti in the surrounding BK culture is high. At present, the level is common and ordinary, gross, and somewhat devoid of spirituality. Therefore, the connectivity between bhakti and Gyan is hardly discernible. This drastically reduces the aspect of the study that itemizes the vast amount of proofs that the speaker of the Gita is Shiva and not Krishna, that God is not omnipresent, and that incorporeal God is speaking through the medium of Prajapita Brahma on the eve of the final Great World War that ends civilization as we know it and opens the gate to a new, enduring civilization and a new time cycle that begins with Satyuga. Very few of the teachers focus on theology, but rather give attention to basic social service, rituals, and behavior modification. This does not further the purpose of incorporeal God's teachings. The important focus of attention is to remain continuously aware of the import of the spiritual knowledge, and that churning it correctly leads to continuous connectivity with incorporeal God. There is little time remaining to draw spiritual power into the self. Therefore, we must make the most of this opportunity. To revert back to conventional Hindu social practices is to get distracted from the real focus. Focus on the point that you are once again retrieving the fortune of your long-lost kingdom. for this, you must draw spiritual power directly from incorporeal God through intensive yoga. Day and night, remain attentive on claiming your inheritance for the coming 21 births. Your future is determined by your present. Your present spiritual opportunity is determined by your sincere efforts during the period of Bhakti over the last 2,500 years. Do not let this go to waste. Recognize who you are. You were called because of who you are, not because of what you can do. Then, secondarily, acquire the powers and competencies to accomplish the task. This is deep underground spiritual work by which you return to your original condition of perfect purity and extend an atmosphere and vibration that raises the quality of the human and the natural world. Do not look for tangible results, but know that by doing this work, the results will emerge at the right time. You are linked to incorporeal God and are working incognito just as He is. When you do intangible work with the intangible Father, you need to remain in a subtle state of consciousness while in the midst of the gross and chaotic social and material world. You must have faith in this because it is intangible. Your efforts may not produce tangible reflections. This is called yoga of the intellect, which means concentration. Buddhi yoga. Concentrate on what you know and do not be distracted by what you can perceive through sense perception. It is deceptive. Things are not what they seem. Understand your spiritual identity and recognize that you have a right to the inheritance of the treasures of knowledge and spiritual strength. Through the remembrance of the incorporeal Father, your negative karma is burnt. Its weight on your soul is lifted, and its power to compel you to repeat negative karma is neutralized. Through this practice, you become free. In Bhakti, everything is tangible, visible, discernible. In Gyan, nothing is tangible or visible, but it is discernible if your third eye remains open and you sustain a subtle level of consciousness. It takes much effort to remain both grounded and extremely subtle. Om Shanti.